edition of Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath, and again joined by Ian Lenton. And Ian, exciting 8 races to take a look at.
Yeah, a good card. We actually have some okay numbers this time around. Only the one pay 1-2 race and the rest of them around the 10 horse field sizes, so it should be quite nice.
When we're doing the former, the big key is to take a look at conditions, and let's have a look at them on the screen at the moment. Showers and 18 degrees. There will be a bit of rain around Perth. The rail is out 3 metres, but the big thing is the westerlies, and they are going to be quite strong as well.
Yeah, they should help those racing from back in the field. Aside from the 1,000-metre races, that should be a fair enough run race, but back in the back half of the card, I would be expecting to see a lot of horses come from the tail of the field.
Well, let's get into it and start with race number 1. And this is going to be a speedy affair. The West Speed Plate over 1,000 metres, and 2 horses that we know will go to the front and put plenty of speed into the race. It's Hot Goods and Rebel Queen.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this battle because neither will yield on speed, so it should be fantastic to watch. But this Hot Goods, this is something special. She was outstanding last start, winning by 2.5 lengths. Have a look at that replay now.
Set sail for home. The tailwind behind them. Hot Goods at the 350. A length and a half to 2 in front of its Dynamite. High Tea the rail, and Pike's now getting to work on London Line, but Little Lucy hasn't moved yet. Hot Goods is the leader with 150 to go. Clear of High Tea, London Line. It's Dynamite. It's all Hot Goods. She's much too brilliant again over the short course, and Hot Goods goes on to win it more than 2 lengths to High Tea, London.
As you said, was really impressive, and the thing for me was that she settled and relaxed this time, so she's progressing each run.
Yeah, she's just getting better and better. Now she is going up in weight. And the other concerning thing here is that speed we spoke of about Rebel Queen, who will be up there as well. So there will be a bit of pressure, actually a lot of pressure up front, but I still think they're both good enough to really fight this out to the line.
There are a few advantages for Rebel Queen in this race. Carries only the 53 kilos with Chloe as a party to 52 kilos, sorry, with Chloe as a party to ride. So that is certainly a big advantage. And the big one as well, this horse hadn't galloped before going to the trial, so can only take improvement from that performance as well.
The trial time was super fast as well, so Rebel Queen, I think, it will be probably the main threat.
Outside of those two, I was pretty impressed with the recent trial at the same day as Rebel Queen as well, and that was Spin Drifter for Adam Durant. William Pike to take the ride, and this just attacked the line nicely.
It did in a quick time as well. So Adam Durant bringing another one of these talented 3-year-olds to the Saturday card, and this one certainly looks like it has a lot of ability with William Pike on board, a lot of favours.
Well, let's take a look at selections then for race number 1. I'm going to be tipping at number 2, Hot Goods, from number 4, Rebel Queen, number 3, Young George, and number 5, Spin Drifter.
2 Hot Goods on top from number 4, Rebel Queen, the 5, Spin Drifter, and number 1, SAS.
Race number 2 at Belmont Park. It's also over 1,000 metres. And again, I'm interested to see a few of these runners. Kenosha, we know, has a lot of talent. Military Rain as well returning. Travellin's been in some good form. And Steve Surprise is a horse I think we know has got plenty of potential and when he got the job done last start.
Yeah, it's on the rise, Steve Surprise. It was a really impressive performance. Look, it wasn't up against much and its previous form was just okay, but I really think that was a coming-of-age performance.
It was a really good win last start. It was able to get the job done by 2 lengths, and let's take a look at that replay now.
The inside, 4th is Academy Bow, a length and a half to Unchain Me, then Cardinal's Crown, leaving the 300 behind them. Steve Surprise had quickly dropped off Hypermatab with Academy Bow beginning to run on, and so Stubborn Cow further back, but Steve Surprise has sailed away with 100 left to go. Steve Surprise in no danger whatsoever. Battling away Academy Bow. Kim Tasher is getting home when it's all over, but Steve Surprise will wanting to pull up late.
Drawn awkwardly, Steve Surprise, but if it gets into a good position, it could be right in the finish, but there are some very sharp ones in this field, Adam.
Well, let's talk about one of those, and I think Military Rain is probably the sharpest in this field. Had no luck at all in the Group 3 Gimcrack. Was beaten 1.5 by Chansky. If had a few more favours that day, I think could have given it a real shake. Barrier 3 to 54 kilos, trialled so well.
Yeah, that it did. Look, it was caught 3 wide in the Karrakatta plate as well. So into this from a great barrier. William Pike on board, bar plates off, equal low weight. So many positive. This looks like one of the best bets of the day.
Let's talk about Kenosha as well. It was beaten by a pretty speedy one last start, but again, I wouldn't be riding this horse off.
No, I don't think you can. Look, it was in a great position. I just think it was outclassed by Agachar Cruz, who I think we both give a good chance later on today. So, look, Kenosha from that tricky barrier is difficult, but maybe a each-way chance.
We've seen plenty of horses come from over east and not quite make the grade. Again, Jimmies have brought another one across here in Biloxi. The blinkers go on. Hasn't won for 466 days, but I don't mind the form actually for this runner.
Its New South Wales form is super. It is very impressive, but the concern is the 59 kilograms. Hasn't won above 58.5. Not riding it off at all. It's probably my second pick in the race.
Well, let's take a look at selections then, and I'm going to be tipping number 10, Military Rain, from number 7, Kenosha, number 4, Travellin, and throwing in number 1, Biloxi.
On 10 Military Rain on top with number 1 Biloxi, the 7 Kenosha and number 2 Acorns.
Race number 3 at Belmont Park is also over the 1,000 metres. Looking forward to seeing a few of these goes head to head. Mad Asa comes back to the preferred distance for the first time in its career. It didn't finish in the top 2 last start.
Yeah, that was always the worry at the 1,200 metres, though its form over 1,100 was an indication that perhaps it just prefers being at the 1,000 metres. Look, the barrier is awkward again, especially the speed it showed last start. Didn't really get to the front, so it is up against a very sharp one, number 4, Agachar Cruz.
Well, we talked about Kenosha in the previous race, and Agachar Cruz is the horse that did beat that by 2.8 lengths in the end. So let's take a look at that victory now.
Icon, who's trailed in turn by Lord Baltazar. Over on the inside is Dexterous Lad, but going past the 300, Agachar Cruz, led by 2 lengths to Kenosha. Dexterous Lad is along the rails next, followed by Real Icon, but Agachar Cruz is in absolutely no danger whatsoever. It's lengthening stride and pulling away from Kenosha, and it'll go on and record an effortless win. Agachar Cruz, 2.5 lengths.
Yeah, super performance there by Agachar Cruz, and look, on sectionals in the day, you cannot argue. It went slower up in front than Mad Asa and finished home a lot quicker. Would have beaten it on sectional times by 3 or 4 lengths. So I think Agachar Cruz really does look the one to beat here.
Is there a concern in this race? And it's something that I weighed up a lot, and it makes it hard when you do the ifs and the buts. But when you've got Mad Asa, Agachar Cruz, Woolabar, which has gone forward in recent times, Blacksmith as well, could this set the race up for a horse like a Rico, which has won at this distance with this type of rating and as well?
Yeah, it really could, especially with that tailwind we're expecting to be in the straight. It just needs to be a more bunched up finish, which is always very hard to project when you have these dynamic leaders that can really stretch the field out.
And what about number 3, Duton? Of course, this horse beat Rebel King 2 starts ago. Carries a 60.5, which has to be a concern, but we know at its best this horse can win this race as well.
I think first up last campaign carried this exact weight and was beaten 1.5 lengths by Travanator, so this could really be the blowout.
Let's take a look at selections then. I'm going to be tipping number 4, Agachar Cruz, from number 2, Recode, number 1, Mad Asa, and number 3, Duton.
I'm with you with the 4, Agachar Cruz on top from number 1, Mad Asa, the 5, Woolabar, number 3, Duton.
Race number 4 at Belmont Park. It is over the 2,200 metres, a nice staying event, and some horses in some pretty good form too, and I speak of Cougar Express.
Yeah, it's certainly in the pocket at the moment. Lindsay Smith has this horse absolutely in the zone, and it's drawn nicely again. It is bumping into a slightly harder field than what it met last start, but it certainly would be hard to beat.
It was a really good victory last start. This was, of course, in the Apprentices Cup. Beat the Ladies' Choice by a half length. Ridden by Aaron Mitchell on that day. He's taken the ride again, so let's take a look at that run now.
Quintessence runs on state form. The Ladies' Choice head the remainder. On balancing at the 300, Cougar Express headed Holy Sky. Military Service gets its run. Followed battling away then by Man Tango Quintessence. 200 left to go. It's Cougar Express. Military Service on the inside is digging in hard with 100 left to go. Cougar Express and now the Ladies' Choice. It's starting to gun them down. Cougar Express, the Ladies' Choice coming too late. And
drifted significantly on the day as well, Cougar Express, and it really looked like it was maybe the only selection on paper, so that was a bit perplexing, but it got the job done, clinging on to defeat the Ladies' Choice. So it is bumping into a harder opposition here, so it'll be interesting to assess.
Now, we talked about the strong wins in the preview. We haven't had to deal with them too much in the 1,000-metre races, but I thought Vidello Blue is a classy runner in this field. The recent form lines for me are strong enough as well, but I'm just worried if it does have to do the bullocking work, that it might struggle at the final distance with that 58.5, giving a few of these others a little bit more weight.
Yeah, I would agree there. I think what Pike will do, though, he will slow it up to an absolute crawl, and he'll invite something to cross over the top of him, because if I think either way would suit Vidello Blue. And look, it's dropping down from a 78 class run last start to a 66 plus here. And it was very good last start. This horse is back in the pocket.
Pants on Fry gets in with just 53.5 kilos. This is a horse at its best. It can win this race, and no doubt at all. My only concern is if the run comes, it really didn't like the soft conditions last start.
Yeah, that rain may certainly inhibit its chances, but look, this horse with the Adam Durant stable, how many times have we seen this come out and blow away the opposition? It's carrying a career low weight, so I have to have it on my side.
What about Street Band as well? Stepping up to the 2,200 metres. What's your expectations here? We know the horse is tough. Can it run the distance and run it well?
Oh, look, I've no doubt that Street Band will be able to finish this race off soundly. It has been racing very well with the turn of foot over 1,600 metres, and that's very hard to translate up to the 2,200 metres here. So, look, I just prefer to watch it go around.
Let's take a look at selections then. I'm going to be tipping number 1, Cougar Express, from number 3, Insurgency, number 7, Street Bandit, and number 6, Black Royale.
And number 4, Pants on Fryer, from 2, Vidello Blue, number 1, Cougar Express, and the 9, Battle Ace.